What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. Welcome to the Juice. So the Juice is basically my recap videos for each tournament that I fished all over the country. This one just so happens to be Lake Champlain, and we walked home with some hardware. So we got 5th place in the Tackle Warehouse Invitational on Lake Champlain. You know, Lake Champlain is one of my favorite lakes in the country. And this week was no exception. We had another great few days on Lake Champlain, and man, that's an incredible lake. But if you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. You know, we're really trying to grow this channel. We're pumping out 3 videos a week right now, and I would really appreciate you guys to hit that subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos coming soon. And also, the Juice is presented by Fish USA. They're a huge online tackle retailer. You know, they have everything you could need for fishing, not just bass fishing, for any type of species. They got it in stock on the website, get it to you real fast, and get you out on the water reeling in those fish. So do me a favor, check the description down below for direct links over to Fish USA for all the tackle we're about to talk about, and general links. Just do me a favor, click those links and purchase your tackle at Fish USA. It really helps me, supports the channel, and it lets them know that you guys support me and support the channel. So appreciate you guys as always, but let's jump in and talk about the Juice, what went down on Lake Champlain to end up 5th place this week. About knocked that in the lake. Okay, well, going into Lake Champlain, we're in the middle of June. You know, all of the dock talk and really all of my preconceived notions were it was going to be a straight spawn fest. You know, the smallmouth should be spawning everywhere. You know, you go around and practice and mark your biggest fish that you find, and then come tournament day, you just run to the 5 biggest ones you got, catch them, and then go look for a big one the rest of the day. You know, it's a really solid game plan for a tournament on Lake Champlain to have a good finish. But the wild card, we get there this year, and the water is a little bit dirty. It's churned up, so you can't quite see as deep where those smallmouth are spawning. And you know, something was just off this year. I don't know, there's a warmer spring, maybe they spawned earlier. There's still a wave coming that's gonna spawn next week, possibly. And we were just kind of at in-between phase. It was just not ideal for the spawning fish. So I spent my first day and a half of practice trying to find those spawning fish, and it just never materialized. It did not happen. So after that, I decided to pull the plug and start looking a little bit deeper, you know, using my live scope and looking for either some pre-spawn or some post-spawn fish. And we were able to find a couple areas with some groups of fish like that. And basically, that is how I spent the second half of practice and the entire tournament, chasing those pre and post-spawn fish out, chasing perch, alewives, smelt, you know, all the different bait fish in Lake Champlain, and just gorging themselves. Now, these fish were very tricky. They were hard to get to bite. You know, it seemed like they had seen a lot of baits recently, because they would look at your bait and turn away. They'd look at your bait, turn away. And then eventually you'd get that presentation just right and one would eat it. You just had to keep fishing, you know, have confidence in what you're doing, and just keep throwing at them, and eventually they screw up and bite. Now, I feel like one big key for me doing a little bit better than the rest of the guys in the area was my bait choice. And that is this guy right here. So we went with the good old jig head minnow. You guys see me throw this all over the country, but I had a bait that nobody else had, I felt like, and that's this guy right here, the Yamamoto Scope Shad and my exclusive color. Now I'm sure there's a few guys that have caught on and bought a few of these, but I would say majority of the field did not have this bait and this color right here, so I felt like I had an advantage throwing this right here. So this is the 3-inch Yamamoto Scope Shad and Becker's grape juice. So this is available only at Fish USA. And it's a perfect imitator of those alewife and those smelt that those fish were feeding on. So I feel like this color really gave me an edge over the competition. I was throwing it on a 1/4 and even a 3/8 in some situations, just the queen tackle sonar head. You guys see me use this exact setup all spring. But that guy right there got the bulk of the damage done. You know, that was my go-to. You know, I pretty much would troll around and have this locked in my hand, ready to throw at any fish that I seen. Now, if we had one that was being really tricky, or he was up very close to the surface, that's when I would pull out this guy right here. You guys know what that is? That is the Core Tackle Hover Rig. So this is a lot lighter jig head. You know, like I said, this is for more of those fish that were up close to the surface. They would swim up off the bottom and just kind of be swimming along the surface looking for an easy meal. And then you would take this guy right here. Let's see, I got one right here we can rig up. But basically, you know, I would take the same bait or, you know, even a different style minnow bait. I was using another style minnow bait that was a little bit bigger, and just putting that Core Tackle Hover Rig right in there like that. And now it gives it a totally different profile, totally different action. You know, this changes the way that bait falls, and you can almost hover it in place and kind of just hold it there. And for those fish that were higher in the water column, you know, the hover rig played a big key in catching a few of those better quality fish that I ended up weighing in my 20-pound bag. So the hover rig was a must with other minnow style baits. And then, you know, of course, you got to have a drop shot. Anytime you're smallmouth fishing on Lake Champlain, you got to have a drop shot. And, you know, the drop shot setup was pretty simple. So actually all of these were the same line setup. We had 8-pound Seaguar Tatsu to the new Seaguar braid, the PEX8 braid. And then my drop shot hook, this is a Trocar TK150 drop shot hook. You know, your standard nose hook style drop shot hook like that. And then I was using a 3/8 ounce Epic tungsten teardrop drop shot weight. And then, you know, had to go with Old Faithful and put the old shad shaped worm on there. So the drop shot caught me a key fish, and generally I would throw the drop shot at the fish that were closer to the bottom. You know, this bait the drop shot would get down to them a little bit quicker, get down right to them on the bottom, and you know, just kind of sit there in place. That's where the drop shot excels. So you got to have a drop shot anytime you're smallmouth fishing. And the last bait, the only other bait that put some fish in the boat for me this week, was a spy bait. This is something that I really have come to like on Lake Champlain. It's just something about the way the fish set up is just throwing a spy bait. This one is the Duo 62 Alpha. You know, this is just a good shad, smelt, alewife imitating color. I mean, it could be anything, but just an excellent color. And it just has that unique shimmy that really triggers some fish. So you're able to cast and wind this, you know, whether it's at a target, a rock pile, a boulder, something like that, and put a few key fish in the boat with the spy bait. But that's it. That's the tackle. That's the juice on what went down at Lake St. Clair. So actually this tournament was shortened from a 3-day tournament to a 2-day tournament. So today, actually, while we're filming this, was day 3 of the event, and it was canceled due to high winds. So basically we took our first 2 days catch and finished up in 5th place, because that's where I was sitting after day 2. I would have loved to get out there again for another shot at them, but I feel like the wind was a little out of reach. You know, Jacob Walker was really catching them, and hats off to him. He had a great couple days of fishing. But overall, I'm pumped with a 5th place finish. So We're actually here on the water. We made a short drive over to my good friends at Bass Fishing Electronics, get a few things tweaked on the boat, hang out with some good friends for a few days, and then it's off to the next tournament on the James River. So I appreciate you guys tuning in to this video. Leave me those likes and comments down below. Don't forget, check the direct links in the description over to Fish USA. It really helps us and helps the channel. And we'll see you guys at the James River coming up real soon.